Welcome back, everyone. This is Dark Silence from Dark Silence Reviews, coming at you with another tips and hints guide for WWE 2K Battlegrounds. This one specifically is going to cover a guide on how to get through the last two areas of WrestleMania. Uh, Basically, it's the last two levels that include a Royal Rumble towards the end. And I'm going to talk about what is the best character to use and what methods you should be using in order to complete these last two really ridiculous stages. I will start off first by saying that for the male Royal Rumble, you're going to want to go into the ring with an all-rounder, basically. I used Bold Reynolds, but I would suggest using him or Gabriel Pierce. The reason being that the high flyer is just not going to get you the strength that you need to complete the Royal Rumble. I'm not going to go through the Royal Rumble because I've already obviously completed it, but this is my tips on how you can get through it as well. I have another guide coming out as well on how to level up the skills and everything, which is a lot of people probably don't know how to do that quite yet. So anyways, you want to go in with Bolo Reynolds, and the best method I can think is to keep your distance. Fight only when you need. The AI varies depending on each character. Once you get to the last four characters, they're really gonna wreck. So you're gonna want to keep your distance as much as possible and get them to fight each other as much as possible. One thing I will say for sure is you always want to make sure that you have speedy recovery on you. You can go in with Feel the Heal, but it doesn't give you near as much health, I think, as a speedy recovery, and that's 3 bars that you use up versus the 2 bars that you'll be needing. I would suggest using speedy recovery only when you have a chance to, and to cheer as often as possible to get as many finishers as possible to use on whoever you're up against at the time. So let's say they're reversing everything you have. I know this is gonna sound really ridiculous, but you have to make sure you don't reverse them as much, because when they grab you and you reverse them, it's going to eat away at your special bar. Now, that being said, if you do have a full special bar already, you do not have to worry about any of that. So make sure you have a full special bar before you start pounding away at those reversals, because those reversals are really going to hurt your bar. And if you taunt them while you're trying to get away with some of that extra bar that you need to pull off those special moves, you're gonna basically eat away at your own ability to get some of the special moves done. I unfortunately don't have the stream for this, but I did stream a lot of the failures that I had. But this is my all around plus. Bolo Reynolds or use Gabriel Pierce. Keep your distance. Make sure you use your specials accordingly. Towards the last 4 people, make sure you I know this sounds ridiculous. Do not get involved. Get involved as little as possible and just nitpick at the attacks. And I have noticed that it does bug out a little bit. So if you're gonna do any kind of damage, make sure you're hammering away at the melee damage. So XXX, YYY. If they happen to block 1 or 2 of your X moves, back away, so that this way they can run away or whatever. If they're running away, run towards them, but be careful when running towards them, because they will reverse you and throw you up in the air. All in all, it's a lot harder than what it seems, but if you take your time and your patience, hopefully you only end up fighting against Brock Lesnar or The Rock at the end, which is who's going to come out anyways. The Rock is really not that powerful, but he will reverse everything you throw at him. So you want to make sure that he's the one that throws out the last person and has no bars left. use that speedy recovery whenever you have the chance. So let's say the three NPCs are fighting and you have like a bar of health that's into the yellow or red. Use that speedy recovery and then taunt away at one of them while they're getting pounded on the floor. Make sure your vision is always on the person that's getting beaten up by the other NPC, and you won't have to worry about them coming towards you until you get a full bar of taunt meter ready, which will give you a good headway on how to get away with some of the attacks that you need to do. Anyhow, that's about all I can do or say for the male one. The female one is a little easier, but also you still have to use the same methods. This one you're gonna want to go in with the heavy, so you're gonna use Jessica Johnson. She can be a little tough to get attacks with because everybody else in the female division is disgusting quick. So you need to be even more patient with her. Make sure you have speedy recovery as well. Also, even at level 1 it should help you, but I'll be going over another guide on how to level up the speedy recovery and everything in a different guide altogether. So go in with Jessica Johnson in the female division in order to get hers done. She's the only character you'll need. These characters, the technicians, are just too weak. Their health will get destroyed within like a few moves, especially against Ronda Rousey. You're basically done. Ronda Rousey should be the last one that comes in, if I remember correctly. She is kind of a joke in comparison to Asuka and a couple of the other characters that are right out the gate. Make sure they throw each other out. If you get a chance to throw them out and you see their health bars are low, run in there and pound them out of the ring as quickly as possible. Same as the male division. You want to keep your distance and chip away at their damage. Taunt when they're on the floor, and use your melee damage and back away if they start blocking and stuff. And there's going to be a lot of it. And be very, 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 very careful on how you reverse and how often you reverse. Towards the end, go all out, like reverse everything that they have at you. Dwindle down everybody's health towards the last person, because the last person is going to give you the most trouble, because it's nerve-wracking at this point. Your anxiety is going to be up on the last person. Your heart's going to be pounding because you're about to win. Stay calm. Just chip away at their damage, throw them into the ring. My best method from what I've noticed is if they're kicking somebody else out, make sure to grab them right when they kick that person out towards the end. So it's the last two. So you'll have like 7 and 8 and 9 in there, and then 8 kicks out, like 9, or 9 kicks out 8, and their health is already chipped away. Just go in there and chip away at the last person's health here and there, and keep your distance, because they're gonna aggro each other. That's the way the AI is. But be very careful not to get both of their attention. You're gonna go back to fighting each other, but still, like, take your chances and be really quick and keep your distance as much as possible. Run if you have to, honestly. The win of the game on this one is to make sure you keep your distance. Anyhow, I managed to pull it out that way. It's a lot easier than you think. As far as the first moves that you don't even need to use the first one. You're always going to use that speedy recovery. And that should net you the achievements that you need for Royal Rumble. I'm going to try and stream the Royal Rumble in general for the 20 and 30, but those ones are going to be the same method, and they're going to be just as hard. So we'll see what happens with that one. I know it's doable. It's just going to take a couple tries. Same methods should work for even the newer the exhibition Royal Rumble match, or whatever you want to set up. There's nothing you can do about their difficulty. Unfortunately, they're going to be whatever difficulty they come out as. The difficulty is very broken on the characters, I would say. Towards the end of the Royal Rumble, they're reversing damn near everything, which is very, very broken. Even if you played it on normal or easy difficulty for the 20, the 30 needs to be normal difficulty. So that's another thing to keep in mind. is that the difficulty of the characters is very, very broken, and some characters are going to give you a little bit more trouble than others. Don't ask me why. They definitely something that needs to be patched about the game, because they should all be consistently the same difficulty no matter what. Roundabout. Obviously, if you're playing a normal, you don't want to be playing an expert level difficulty character. But that's the one thing that I've noticed about the game that's like a little bit broken and kind of BS. But it is what it is. Anyway, that wraps up my guide for the Royal Rumble tips and hints. I'll be making a couple other guides here in a few minutes and uploading them all today on YouTube, just for everybody to kind of like get their achievements done and everything, and a couple other things that need to be getting done. Once again, thank you all for watching, everyone.